Hey, it's Scott Fox from ExpertWebsiteReviews.com. Today we're going to talk about this marriage and relationship coaching website at CoachJackIto.com. This is an order from ExpertWebsiteReviews.com from my new friend, Coach Jack Ito. So Dr. Jack, thanks for your email and for your order. This should be a great discussion. I think your site looks great in general, but I think you're quite wise to get a third party's objective viewpoint on it. And I think together we can find some ways to increase your sales conversions from the very nice site that you have. The good news is I don't have a whole bunch of huge changes for you, but I think together there are a number of smaller things that we could change to improve your customer prospects and sales. As you said when you emailed me, you said, I want to increase my client base. I think my main problem is that I don't think the way my prospects do. I think my site looks great, but how does it look to my prospects? What do they need to hear that I'm not giving them, or what am I saying that scares them away? That's a wonderful perspective. You're obviously a highly educated guy. You know that you're close enough to this that you might be missing something, and that quite often happens when we do these reviews for folks, so I'm excited that you reached out to me, and I hope that I can help you here in the next 20 minutes or so. By the way, if you're watching this later on YouTube or clickmillionaires.com or expertwebsitereviews.com, I'm Scott Fox, and you can order a video review like this of your website anytime too, just like Dr. Jack did at expertwebsitereviews.com. All right, so let's talk about the marriage and relationship coaching website that Jack's put together here. My first impression, Jack, is good. It's clean. The site is professional. The fonts are nicely presented. You're using attractive, professional-looking graphics and stock photos. The colors hang together. There's really, not a lot to pick on here. You're not making a lot of beginner mistakes, which is fantastic. So let's talk in a little more detail on some of the things that I think you could tweak, because I think the site is good, but I think, of course, it could always be better. So let's see what we can do together here. All right, let's start. Let's see at the top. I think this could be bigger. That's pretty petty. We can do better than that, right, Scott? Okay, I guess I'm most concerned with this big slider that you have, or a slideshow that you have. Lately, I've seen a lot of this. People are just enamored with these flash slideshows, and I'm not sure it's doing you any favors, Jack. First of all, it flashes fairly quickly. Watch as I'm talking here, and try to actually read all of this as if it were the first time before the thing changes again. It's moving way too fast. If these are actually your 3 best offers, which I'm hoping they are, you got to slow it down so people can read them. So that would be what? Also, I wanted to point out that this contact link is falling off the top bar. I think you see here it says contact in white and then it goes to orange. This should really be up here, I think. So perhaps you're viewing this in a different browser, or just for the record, I'm running a PC running the latest Firefox. This might look a lot different in a Mac running Safari, for example, but you need to test on both. And I think it would clean things up if you had contact over here, and you might move the home link down to be here as well. Even having that contact more prominent actually could increase your sales, because it's kind of hidden right now, at least on my screen, because it's stuck over here. Now, more particularly on these stock photos and these sliders, you are making 3 offers here. And like I said, I think they should be your primary 3 offers. So here's one, welcome and how to have a better marriage with your picture. Here's another one, which is for more love from your husband, building love. And this is another one, free rebuilding love with your wife. So it seems to me like you've got a hello, and then you've got something for men and something for women. And that sounds right to me for what it's worth. The introduction of yourself is critical, of course. You have to establish credibility. And then you want to offer something to the men and also to the women, because I would gather that they have different needs, at least in a typical marriage counseling scenario. I'm guessing there you're the guy with 20 years expertise, but that seems the way you set it up, and that makes sense to me. So what would I do to change this? Well, first of all, I would slow it down, like I said. Then I think this offer, hold on, I'm going to go back. This offer, this women's one, that could take this half of the screen and just stay there. And then this one, the husband one, well, that could sit over here at the same time. And I think you could get rid of this flashing stuff. And how about making the right side of the screen for women and the left side for the men? I think that would be fine. And then people kind of know what to do, right? The problem with this, you're throwing so much at them so quickly, and I haven't even gotten below the first couple inches of the page, right? That they're not sure what to do, and it's going so fast I can't read it. But I think that an obvious path here is Men over here, women over here. And I'll come back to the welcome in a second, okay? So, now, you've got this in reversed language. More love from your husband. Now, that's a little confusing. If I'm a woman here, you're forcing me to think about from my husband, and here I'm a man. This is actually for a man, right? But it leads with a woman's picture and talks about stuff from your wife. And I see this down here also. You're doing this reverse language. You talk about something, marriage and relationship coaching packages, and then you immediately take it back. Don't let the name fool you. This is not what you thought it was. You've got to simplify your language and these graphics in every place. If this is for women, see, I just did it there. I can say, is this for women? It's not for women. This is for rebuilding love with your wife. So that was for a man, wasn't it? You've got to say that. Something, I mean, it could be this simple. You can do better, I'm sure. Or come join our MasterMinds forum. We'll talk about it together personally. Men, want to rebuild your relationship with your wife? And put a picture maybe of a sad-looking guy there, or a guy looking sadly at a pretty woman, you know? And you get that this is for men. And then this one. This is, the female is first here. The genders are mixed up. I don't need to go through it inch by inch. You've got a PhD. I think you get what I'm saying. Your language is not clear to me. If it's for men, say, men, look here, buy here. Women, look here, buy here. And then this one in particular, this one honestly made me laugh when I read it. Here's your big headline. The number one thing you're selling on the page. Don't let it fool you. This isn't what you thought it was. Okay, now I'm lost already. That's the last thing you want to do. I don't want to know what this isn't. I want to know what it is. Okay? So this is a copywriting suggestion. Clean this up. Marriage and relationship coaching packages. Here's what I'll do for you. Bop, 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 bop. And by the way, I'd love to see these as bullet points. This long text, nobody's going to read that. In this day of shortened attention spans, you've got some good copy in there, some good keywords, which of course you don't want to mess with your keywords because you're getting pretty good SEO already. But this should be bullet points. This needs to be a blurb that is quickly and easily readable and is not led with the big word not. That's a turnoff. Very bad copywriting. All right, so I think if you did that, you'd get a long way fast. To recap quickly, this top bar split into two paths. Men go over here, women go over here, and then here's the main product focus. I do this stuff. Here are the benefits to you, maybe whether male or female, right? I mean, the benefits, I guess, would be sort of the same, right? More intimacy, better trust, more happiness, that kind of stuff would apply to both genders. I would like to see that. I think that would redo this a lot to make this a lot clearer. Now, I said I was going to go back to the other, this bit, the welcome, because you've got this, and that's why I don't think you need it both here and here, because you've got this whole column here with Jack and his picture right here. So I think this is a critical thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. My point is really just that I don't think you need to do it both here and again here. This picture could be bigger, and honestly, Jack, you've spent money on all these other nice photos. I don't want to offend you, but my friend, you could find a better picture than this, okay? Spend some money, go into a studio, and get a real picture taken where you're looking a little more smiley, and maybe get it posed outdoors. I don't know, whatever vibe you want to create. This one has a pink background on it, and the other one looks like you just photoshopped out the background, but it kind of looks like you photoshopped out the background. So I think you need, you need to spend a couple $100, find a local photographer, and take a bunch of photos. You can't just take one. If you're going to do it, spend like $300 and get them to take like 400 photos. Pick out 3 good ones and then use them all over the place because you want more than one photo of yourself anyway. And the number one thing you're selling here is, of course, is you, and the more professional and together you look, the better. So that would be a big upgrade for you right away, a better headshot. Okay? Now, in terms of establishing your credibility, you've got some great credentials here. I would maybe even make this bigger. I don't know what a graduate mentor coach is. Is there supposed to be a space in there? Graduate mentor space coach? Is that a typo? I don't know. I don't know whether Christian helps you or hurts you. If that's an important part of your practice, obviously that's great. If you're trying to reach a lot of Jewish and Muslim folks, it probably doesn't help. I don't know who your target market is. This is the one I wanted to change the most. Counseling and coaching since 1994. That's correct, but I'd love you to reverse that and say, more than 20 years of experience and success. I mean, 20 years is a long time. Otherwise, the way you've written it, I have to do the math. Well, I guess it's 19 years so far, right? And an author of 2 books. Well, how about we see those 2 books? I mean, I guess they're down here. But if you're author of 2 books, let's see the names. That's a big deal. And I'd like to see the titles and maybe the pictures, all that together. A mission or view statement here, I guess that makes sense. You can tell me more about that, I guess, if you'd like. But I think my point is I think this is a good use of that space. You are the integral part of the business, obviously, and just polish it up, make it look, I mean, sexy is the wrong word in this context, but that's what I mean. You got to make it look a little more, hey, I'm the guy, you know, call me. And a little polish on that, I think, would go a long way. Next, the other big thing I'd love to see up here, which you addressed in your email to me, but which I think is worth discussing anyway, is the newsletter. You said you backed away from doing newsletters because you found that prospects would keep reading the newsletters waiting for answers that would help them rather than transitioning to make a purchase. Okay, then try something else. If you're getting traffic and people aren't converting, you need to build your email list. You need to keep sending out the emails. Again, this is something you could read my books or come over to the MasterMinds forum. We could talk about it personally. I'll do a coaching call with you, whatever you want. But you got to keep hitting them with emails. And I'm not talking about 3 times a day. I'm talking, once a month or so, and just reaching out. Hey, I'm still here, Dr. Jack. I can help you. And the relationship lessons you mentioned, they seem to work well. Well, I would push it a little harder. You're kind of caught right now because you've downgraded the email sign-up so badly that you're probably not getting any sign-ups. I saw it on some interior pages, but you don't have it on the home page at all. And that's a big mistake because a lot of people will just drop by and they'll want to do a quick scan and say, oh, okay, I'll sign up for this guy and he'll email me later, right? And with your good SEO, you're probably getting a lot of drive-by traffic like that. And if you're not collecting the email addresses, you're never going to see or hear from those people again, and that's a shame. So I would recommend here somewhere, maybe right up here actually, you have a lot of blank space, and make a cool offer as you suggested. Get my relationship lessons, sign up for the free email letter. Give them an incentive, and keep the box small and tight. You don't need their phone number and blood type and social security number and zip code. Just sign up and get it. And I saw one earlier, but I don't want to get lost right now. But we'll see one on an interior page in a moment, I'm sure. Okay, so far, I hope that's helpful to you. I think we're going to spend most of our time today on the home page because that's where most of the action happens in a customer acquisition scenario like you're questioning here. So I think even what we've talked about already would be helpful. Let's dig a little deeper. Now, you have these packages here. These are good. I like the concept. What I would really like to see, and this is just a tweak, I would really like to see on each one of these a line, kind of not the headline like the actual topic, but maybe in this kind of font, maybe a third line like right here that says something like, who is this for? Or most popular with, or some phrasing like that, so I can get a sense of, does this apply to me or not? Because you've got a bunch of them here, and they all, it's hard to say these things differently, but they all kind of sound the same, right? So in fact, you might do that in general with your packages. Try to figure out how to differentiate them more. What are a great exercise for you? This is a little more strategic, but what are the top 3 questions or problems that people come to you with? Is cheating? I'm just guessing. Cheating spouse, not enough sex, fighting about money. I bet you those are in the top 10 anyway, right? Why not create a package around each of those, and whatever they are? I'm not saying those are them, but say that those are the 3. How to fix a relationship where a spouse is cheating. Just call it out, and then how to stop fighting about money, and how to get laid more often in a loving relationship, or something like that. These are all nice, but they kind of sound the same. Restoring love with difficult spouses, reconciling separations, restoring to love. You're using the same words there. Restoring love, becoming a secure partner, overcome relationship coaching. Okay, I mean, they're just you're kind of you're very close to the topic, right? The best way to sell things online, especially, as you know from your search engine optimization experience, I presume, is to match exactly what the person's searching for. So the person is trying to figure out, how do I keep my husband when he's cheating? Name the product exactly that. And it's 3 or 4, maybe 5 packages, not 12, right? Or if there are 12, you divide them into categories, cheating, finance, sex, or something like that. And break it down and use very specific language. And I would love to see these packages change from all this language, which is very nice and helpful, but more specific. How to, and I could do better than this if I wrote it down or we talk about it in the forum. I'm sure you can do better too, but something like, how to get your cheating spouse back in love with you. Who's this program for? for women whose men have strayed, or husbands whose wives are sleeping with their boss, or what, you can do better than that, right? But you get the idea. Specific headline, who's this for, and then toss in some of the other stuff. Your subtitles are good too. And then your copy, I think your copy in these things is very nice, actually. What I read through, it's very nice. It is not tremendously differentiated from one to the other, though. And I think here, again, you'd also be helped by differentiation, but also by bullet points. People like bullet points. You've got a PhD. You've done a lot of reading. You're used to reading long-form text. People aren't used to doing that anymore, especially people who are having communications problems, right? These are not great communicators, I'm guessing, at least in some cases. So bullet points, I don't mean to be facetious, but bullet points would help you. Next, I think your calls to action are weak. Click for details. How about a button? How about a graphic? At least get these things underlined. How about making it sexier? Click for details and a discount, or click to you make it better. And I think you've got enough pictures on here that a graphic, an arrow, something, get it now, a little more assertive would really help your conversions also, or at least lead people into the product deeper. So let's go in deeper and see what we see in there. Here I am clicking for details, and I liked, by the way, since I'm picking on you, you hired me to pick on you, but I wanted to point out some of the things I like. I really like this coaching by phone, Skype, or web camera. It's real clear how you deliver this, which is cool. I think because a lot of people get confused about that. Oh no, here's the email box. There it is. See, it's down here. Now I noticed inside you only put for wives, and then the other one is down here for husbands. So here you are differentiating, as I suggest you do on the homepage. So you're kind of doing this already, and I think that's a good idea. But again, I'm a little confused because it says husbands. There's a picture of the woman, the man's guide. It would help to be clearer. This is for men. If the help for husbands, is that something the wife buys because she wants to help her husband, or is this something the husband wants to do to improve his relationship with his wife? Help for husbands doesn't necessarily mean that the customer is the man, I guess is my point. And same here, free help for wives. Is this for me to help my wife, or is my wife going to use this to help herself? So I think that language could be cleaned up. Now this one, you have the name and email sign up here. So this is what I wanted to see, but it doesn't say how you're going to, what am I going to get? I get lessons, okay. It would be great to have a little graphic that showed a picture of an icon that looked like an ebook or something. And then here, this one doesn't have any sign up, but you have to click on it, and I presume you get the same thing. I don't want to get too distracted here, but both of these offers are good. I think that they are actually on the interior pages. They should be shrunk down and put up here so that they're everywhere, okay? Now, back to what we were talking about, which was the package itself. Now, here you've got a bunch of bullet points, which I like a lot. 7 reasons why. Here you also say in big letters, 20 years of coaching and counseling, good job, etc., etc. Again, I would revisit everything so that it is differentiated a little more. What you really need here is you don't have a buy button. This I was really surprised at this. You have no buy button. You've got prices, which I think is fantastic, because a lot of coaches hide their prices. I love that you just tell me. I think that's great. On this pop-up, I thought this was pretty good. I don't know what kind of reaction you're getting from that. If you really want people to ask questions and make this personal, I'd put your picture in there rather than these hearts, right? The newer, better picture, in fact. Because I gather you're doing this personally, so I would make a virtue of that. This is personal, right? And I don't think it's coaching questions. Isn't it marriage questions or relationship questions? That would probably be more precise. Or I guess you want them to just ask you questions about your service as opposed to about their marriage. Okay, I guess I can see that, but I think you probably get the point. They're not as interested in asking you about your service as they are about their marriage. So, okay, now back to this, the buy button. You need a button that says buy this. You don't have that. You have this kind of ugly PayPal button with a lot of fine print that is offering people financing arrangements, but it doesn't say buy this. A lot of language here. This is like the longest buy this I've ever seen. Here's all you need to do to get started today to get recommitment and reconnection before it's too late. Lots of nice words, but how about buy this? And here, click on this link to go to the secure registration. I don't want to go to a registration form. That secure registration form, that scares me. It makes me think hackers. It makes me think there's something dangerous. I don't want to fill out a registration form. I want to buy this. So buy this now, add to cart, sign up, something like that. Quick and clean, a sexy picture button that I can click on is what this needs to be. Last, the big thing that I didn't see anywhere, and I didn't go through every page, I have to admit, because I saw enough to talk about. Obviously, we've been 20 minutes here already. Enough to talk about already. What I didn't see that I would love to see right down here on every product page is testimonials. My friend Jack, you are missing the #1 selling point that you have. If you've been doing this for 20 years, I would hope you have at least half a dozen people who will write a little quote and even let you use their picture to put on these pages. Because it's really hard to buy something. I don't want to spend $500 on some guy who I just met and he says he's been doing this 20 years, but you know, I would love to see some pictures. Julie from Indianapolis says, Jack saved my marriage. Freddie from Des Moines says, you know, without Jack, you know, my marriage would have ended in divorce. You don't get the idea. You see it all the time. That kind of social proof is critical, especially when you're asking people to drop, you know, $500 at a time. So that for you, that might even be my #1 suggestion for you. If you're getting traffic anyway and people are coming into these pages and not converting, you don't have good buy buttons with a call to action, and you don't have any testimonials. You put those together with the changes I suggested on the homepage, I think you'd be a long way fast. All right, now we're about out of time. What else do we have here? These were a whole bunch of great articles that seemed good. The packages, I'd put the packages, well, I was going to say put those first, but the articles are nice. Yeah, that's true. Questions about coaching, marriage saving books. Now, these are your books, right? So maybe those are by Jack Ito. Perhaps you could dig that around a little more. But I think I've probably given you enough to work with already. Here we go, books. Yeah, those are nice. But I think you're right. Those might be okay just in the sidebars. They were on the homepage already. And there wasn't much of a footer here. You get a second bite at the apple. You could repeat your menu at the bottom, and especially for things like questions about coaching, or, well, I guess that's part of your sales process, isn't it? The contact stuff, which is, again, getting lost, I'd put another contact form at the bottom. You kind of have it with this little pop-up guy, but the footer is an opportunity for you to repeat things, including your sitemap, which could then help Google index you better and get you more free traffic. So, okay, Jack, well, I hope that's helpful to you. That's a lot of material, but I appreciate your asking. I think it's smart to ask because I think you're right. As you said, you saw a few of my reviews and you thought I'm sufficiently different from you to catch some things that you are not. So I hope that has come true for you, Jack, and if not, of course, there's a money-back guarantee on this review, and I wish you the best of luck with this site. You would be an excellent candidate for coming and joining our MasterMinds forum. I have to tell you, the clickmillionaires.com forum is free. The MasterMinds is a $39 a month upgrade, and that forum I moderate myself, and we could go through this bit by bit. We could put this up for review by our community, and have everybody go through this as you iterate on it, and it will get better and better, whether you take these suggestions alone or any of these additional suggestions I have for you that we can discuss in the forum. I think you've got a very nice site. And with these kind of changes, I think your conversions are going to increase quite nicely. So, nice work, Jack. Nice to meet you. Thanks for the order. And if anybody is watching this later on YouTube or anywhere else, if you're looking for marriage coaching and relationship advice, please consult or coach with Coach Dr. Jack Ito here at CoachJackIto.com. You'll check that site again soon. I'm sure Jack's going to make some great changes that will make this site serve you even better. And if you'd like a video review like this of your own website, I'm Scott Fox from ExpertWebsiteReviews.com. Come on over and order one. We'd be happy to help you out, just like we have Dr. Jack. Thanks for watching.